Okay, so we're going to start with the major stock companies here, and here's what's interesting. All these people went major and wasn't able to buy a 3 train, so they fell backwards and wasn't able to ever catch up. And then we snuck in the stock round and went major, and we're already one step ahead of them. So DSJ magically gets to go first. So that's an amazing coup. It doesn't always work out that way, but it did in this game. And so we have a couple choices here. First of all, if you remember, DSJ uses the C routes for his train. And so this Metropolis of $60 is in our grasp, and it automatically upgraded. But we do have an issue of a $45 upgrade there, which I think is $36. I'm checking right now. Yes, we get a 20% discount, so that becomes $36. And I'm looking at his money, and I know I'm off camera here, but I'm just going to check real quick. We're looking at, he's got 125, 35, 45, 55, 175, 185, 190, and change. So he's super close to getting a 3 train. And we're talking about spending $36 to upgrade that city. And that will give him $10 more in revenue. He is going to overall lose money in this, but we're going to do it anyways. And I'm going to reserve the right to retract this step if the math doesn't work out. I don't want to sit here and calculate it all. Let's just spend the money. So I'm spending $36 to upgrade that track. And when it was Lord Wellington's turn, I could have been sitting here doing my turn, right? So that's one of the advantages of a multiplayer game is you can be planning your turn out while other players are going. And so by laying this here, we now have availability to this port, which we didn't before. And of course, we now can hit as much as we can here. And we also can upgrade this up here. Remember, we get 6 track points. We're a major. So we are going to do that for 2 more track points. And I'm just trying to find the tile that I'm going to need. So it does get a little tricky reaching in with your fingernails to do this, but we're going to do that. Now, I have to preserve connections. So we were connected to here. We were connected to here. We were not connected to here, even though he has a leg that allows us to connect. And then, of course, I wanted to preserve this as well. So so that's what we did. And so all I had to do was preserve the connections. I was not obligated to connect to that K leg. So that's one of the advantages of when you get to lay the tile, you don't have to connect to things that even if other players were intending to. I can be honest, Russia, Mr. Tchaikovsky was not intending on connecting there either. So this was not that big of a deal, but it's a great example. Okay, so that was 4 track points. I actually still have 2 more track points, and I don't know what to do with it, to be honest. I guess we're going to just continue here for 1, and then we're going to try to connect over here to BHB for 2. It's not a super, no. I know what we're going to do. We're upgrading whistle stops. That's what we're going to do. So this one will get upgraded. It doesn't help us right now, but it'll help us later. Okay, so DSJ is actually set up to do a 1, 2, 3 run. He can do a 3-stop run. He only has a 2 train right now, but we're already poised to have a 3 train. And then his 2 train can go from here to here and just can't count the whistle stops. And because remember, you can use ports infinitely. It's track that can't be reused. So that's a very important thing to point out. So he's set up to make a lot of money, but we have to get him a 3 train. Otherwise, he won't. So let's do his run. He has a 2 train right now. He's going to make 60, 100, 10, 20. 120 bucks for DSJ. We have 3 shares of DSJ. So at 12 bucks a share, we're going to get $36. And it's just easier to grab this money with two hands. Let's see if I can. So I just gave me $36. So now we have 7 shares left at $12 a share. So 12 times 5 is 60, 72, 84. So he's going to get $84, and that's good money. So we're going to give him 50, 75, 85, and then we have to take $1 back. All right, I think you can easily buy a train. So there's 100, 75, 85, 95, 205, 215, 225, and he has some 5s hidden there. So he had more than enough to cover this. Not an awful lot more, but definitely was able to do the track upgrade and cover this expense. So I'm just putting money in the bank right now while I was chatting. And he's buying a 3 train. And this is excellent news for the good guys. We need 3 trains, or otherwise we are going to be in a mountain of hurt. So 3 train it is for DSJ. Okay, I want to do an OE run with SB. I know it's not SB's turn, but I want to do an OE run with SB early, if I can. I don't know if I will, but we'll see what we can do there. But DSJ is performing exactly where we need him to, and he's probably going to be our best company in our squad. So moving on, DSJ made, what did I say they made? They made $120. He needed to make $120. So look at this. He goes up in stock price. That's the first time you're seeing it happen in this game. And so we were able to do that with a 2 train. But you know what? There's no way you're going to make 135 with the 2 train. So he had to have that 3 train to keep the momentum going, and he will. So MKV is up. And after MKV is GWR. Yeah, so we got a lot of our big guns coming up. So MKV is Mr. Russia, Tchaikovsky here. So we're going to switch over to here, and you can see MKV is sitting here, and he's got a lot of choices to make. He can put a token down here to try to do an OE run. But right now he needs to lay track. And so we're looking over at MKV and trying to decide, can he afford a 3 train? Because that's the priority, right? And my answer is, I believe he can. So we're going to lay track with him. We have a 1. Then here's where I was concerned, is there's a 2 here. This is a $30 upgrade. He gets a 20% discount, so it's going to be $24. So we're going to take $10, $20, $5 and give him $1 back. Okay, so that was 2 track points, and then this is 3, and this is 4. And you can see now that we're actually connected from St. Petersburg all the way down to Sevastopol. And he still has 2 more track points left. So he wants to help out Lizard. Lizard is this company here who's still struggling to get connected to the network. So what we're going to do is he'll spend his last 2 track points upgrading this, like so. And again, that's something we can do. Even though this was pointing there, I just have to preserve my previous connections. I can go anywhere I want. And to be honest, Lizard does not want this connected. He wants to connect here. So that was an excellent set of upgrades. We do need to help out WW, or Russia does, but MKV is in a wonderful position. So now the question is does he want to put his token somewhere else? And he does, but I think right now he can wait on this decision. And so he's going to just do, Moscow right now is worth $50. So that is for sure in his route. Well, actually, yeah, $50. This is $40, and so he has to include his token. So now we got to do some math here. He has $150 right there. 60, 70, 80. Can he make enough money to buy a train? All right, well, let's do this. Let's say he spends $20 to buy a token. And then he would put that token in Moscow. So now it's a matter of, he would make 50, 90, 110. Okay, that's $11 a share. And so $33 would go to Mr. Tchaikovsky. 25, 35, and then we put $2 back. And then 7 shares, so he would get $77. So 50, 60, 70, and then we're gonna say 80 and put $3 back. So 50, 100, 150, 200, 10, 20, and then we're gonna get some change, 5. So he had more than enough to do both, and that's exactly what he will do. So in doing so, he's able to buy a 3 train. And he made $110, I believe, so that is enough to move up on the stock board. So he moves up. Next up is GWR. He has 6 track points, and he has all kinds of things he's chomping at the bit to do. And 6 track points is not enough for him. First thing he's going to do is upgrade London for 4 track points. That is super important. And it has to look this way, otherwise this little arm would go into the sea. So the lawnmower is still on the northern side. So that's the first thing. The second thing is he wants to get out of that $20 crappy spot that he's in. So he has to pay 20 bucks. So just mental note, he's going to spend 20 bucks. We have to walk over to Lord Wellington to do that. But he's going to spend 20 bucks to upgrade, or I'm sorry, to put in a new token. And then he's going to upgrade a double whistle stop. And I'm just looking for a good piece here. And I believe this one has the interesting, you could do that, but it doesn't fit. So he needs to use a special K. Or no, he can use a crow's foot. And remember, if you don't have to use a special K, you don't. It's reserved for the spots that really need it. So he puts that one in, and that's 6 points. It was 4 points for this, 2 points for that. And so now he's gonna put a token in London, and then he's gonna do his run. So he still only has a 2 train, but we're looking at 60 plus 40 is 100, and then 2, he's gonna do a $120 run. So he will go up on the stock board, which I'm doing off camera. And I just knocked a bunch of pieces down, so I'm fixing them. My apologies. So that's where it's going to look. He did move up. He's underneath MKB here, because remember, you always go underneath. MKB will always be first. Since they were the first there, they get to be the first to go. So we have to pay $20 for the token, and then we have to pay out $120 for the run. So let's come over here. First thing we're going to do is pay our $20 for the token out of the company money. Doing that right now. So $120 is a $12 share, so he has 3 shares. So 36 bucks goes to Wellington. And we're going to just hand him some money here. So then it is 12 times 7. And what did I say that was? I think I said that was 84. It is 84. So $84 for GWR. So 50, 75. Does he have a $1? No, he doesn't. Bum. 80 and 1, 2. I hate using the $1 bills in this game. Oh, he does have $1. So So I'm gonna just quit complaining and just take 85. So, and then hand $1 back. All right, so he has 50, 100, 150, 200, and 25. So he has enough for his 3 train. It was imperative. If he failed to get the 3 train, Lord Wellington was going to lose this game. And I'm serious about that. It's one of those things where if you're going to play in Great Britain, you need to stay in front. And that's exactly what he's doing. And it will be just fine. GWR is well on its way to making lots and lots of cash. So he now has a 3 train. And I'm trying to be mindful of the privates that everybody has. And speaking of which, this private right here, its best use is to make the stock value of a company go up. So he will do that. So I have to pay $10 from here because BB&B, when you use the power, it's closed. And unlike all the other ones, and when it's closed, you no longer get the revenue. So this company is closed. And I'm going to just put it over here. This was used on, we're going to use it on MZA, okay? And don't worry, it's not, yes, it is cheating from the perspective we were supposed to remember to do this a while ago, but we're fine. It's not impacting the game at all. I'll explain that in a second. And I'm just looking at everybody's special abilities. Here's one I forgot to use. When he laid this mountain for MKV, that would have been there. So he would have made an extra $10. So I'm going to give $5 to him and $5 to MKV. This token is a special whistle stop that has its own pay scale. So in the green track phase, that's a $20 whistle stop. And every company that Russia owns gets to use that. So every company in the game, WW, Lizard, MKV, and MSP all get a $20 whistle stop there now. And it had to be in a mountain spot, which is what this was. So that's why MKV paid the $30. And if you recall the last round, I went out of my way to redo the track so I could do that. So that's going to be very powerful for Russia, by the way. Coming over to here, De Gaulle is okay. He's not worried about any of that. And then we are okay. We do want to start thinking about our Star Harbor and what we want to do with that. But right now, I'm okay. And so let's go over and take care of what Medici did. He used his BB&B. And if you remember, these two went major. And they were at $60 a share, which then put them at $75. What you can do with the BB&B, one of the special options, and the one that's used the most often in the game, is I can just take this and say, nope, you're now $120. And so he just went up a massive amount of stock value for free. And that's what BB&B does for you. So Medici's overall net worth just increased by a very huge amount. And that's what BB&B does. But the company is closed, and that's why I took the $10 away. He didn't make that money during the weenie, pay the weenie phase, pay the privates. Okay, so we are done with that, but that means MZA was supposed to go before these other two companies. So let's do that right now. MZA will go, and let's see if they can make their $120. MZA is a Spanish company. It is connected to Spain, and it gets 6 track points. So he's going to upgrade his spot. And he's going to upgrade Madrid, which is a good one to upgrade. And I'm just trying to find Madrid. Oh, why can't I find Madrid? There we go. So Madrid is, it was this, see how it's like 3 dead ends? So now it's this situation where you can connect to it, but you got to go straight through it. So this now goes straight through to this mountain, but I can't come into Madrid and then go towards H. And H can't go towards me. So with that in mind, this is one of those situations where we let people retract. The chin player would go, hey, I forgot about that. So they want to replace this with a turn, and we would let them, and you should too. So this is what they really should have put there in preparation for that tile, and there's no harm in that. You know, you can punish people. Well, you should have thought of that. You know what? Then they're going to sit there and refuse to take their turn because they're analyzing every possible outcome. We would rather have a quick game. This is already a 9-hour game. You want the game to start clicking. You want it to go fast. And if you're making people get punished for not remembering things, then, you know, if they forget something and it impacts the game and it would have changed the way people would have played their turn, then for sure, don't let them do it. But nobody cares whether this was a straight or a turn except for chin. And so you just let them get away with it. And this is exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm letting him get away with it. Okay, so we spent our 6 track points. We're well on our way to making some good money here. This Algier, which is red zone, is 40, but Madrid itself is 50, and then we're 40. So the only drawback is we still only have 1 whistle stop. So we're looking at 90, 100. We did not make 120. That's what stinks. So we made it to 100, but we didn't make it to 120. So MZA is not quite there. And so it will pay out though. And so it's going to be on the top of the stack, but it doesn't move up with DSJ here. So, but 120 is still good. That's $12 a share. And let's go figure out what Mr. Medici makes off of that. $12 a share. I think he has 4 shares of it. He does. So he's going to make $48. So let's grab 50 and hand it to Mr. Medici, and he's going to put $2 back. And then MZA he has 6 shares left. So 6 times 12 is 72. Yes, 72. So let's grab another 50. And I'm just seeing if he has enough ones. He doesn't, you bum. 70, and now we gotta grab those crappy ones. 72. So let's go back over to here. All right, so his situation is he has 100 and 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 200, 10, 20, 5. Oh my goodness, just barely enough. But he's going to get a 3 train, and that will help get him out of his rut, because that 3 train is going to get him enough revenue to start moving his company up the stock track. Wow, that's as close as you get as drama in an economic game. So that's like in a DVG game, you just rolled a 10 when you needed a 9 or 10 to avoid damage. So anyways, he made it. MZA did not move up on the stock track, but he was able to get his train. So now we're on to Chin. Chin is one of the De Gaulle companies, so we got to come back around. And it's the one that's in Spain here. And it's one of the 2 that he wants to do an OE run with. So let's look at his situation. His first priority is he needs a 3 train. And his second priority is he needs more cash than just that. So let's see here. He is sitting good in the money department. That's $100 right there. And I know that he has a big stack of 1s. Okay, so he's definitely going to be able to buy a 3 train, but he's not going to be able to do the OE run that we want. He's just a few dollars short. So that's unfortunate, but I'll explain that in a second, what I'm trying to do with him. Well, actually, let's explain it now. He wants to go to Constantinople, and you might be wondering, well, how is he going to do that from Spain? Well, one of the requirements, you have to be connected to Madrid, which he is. Here, he's going to upgrade this and get connected to this private port. So he'll be in this C zone with a token. So this C zone will be canceled. He has to go through this C zone and this C zone, which is a very large C zone that goes all the way to Constantinople. And Constantinople has a public port that he can use to go into the city. Now, what does all that mean? Well, he has to find a way to negate these two C zones, and that's where this comes in. These Mediterranean Port Authority tokens, they cost 125 bucks. So he needs to have $125 in cash to buy one of those, and the moment that he can buy one of those and have a 3 train, he needs both, he can do an OE run. So the idea is this round he wants to make as much money as he can, and then next round do the OE run. I don't know if he's going to be able to pull it off. Let's see. First things first is upgrading his current city, and he can do that with a crow's foot, like so. And that's a perfect upgrade for him for 2 points. He actually has 4 more track points, and we're looking at what he could do. He would love to have a second whistle stop, but he doesn't. Actually, he can, and I'll show you how. Nope, he can't. Well, one of the things he can do is he can go from this city to this city, and if we lay a track here, he can start here for 1 whistle stop, go there, go into the port, come here, and then end there. But this Madrid is a $50 city, which is already $10 more, so he's going to do this and then basically stop, because he can only go to 2 cities. And remember, he can't go here and then turn, because this is a straight through tile. So what we'll do is we'll just upgrade this for 4. And bear with me as I find a token. So that's done. And he still has 2 more track points. I'm trying to analyze what he would do with 2 more track points, and I don't really have a good answer, except for maybe try to like get these 2 to connect with each other so he can do this strange go into Madrid and then come out another way. I don't like, he can go this way and then hit Madrid that way instead of hitting Madrid that way. That's an option. I don't know how viable it is, but it would let him get another whistle stop. That's the attractiveness to it. So yeah, why not? Let's just do it. He has the track points, so let's upgrade this for that. Okay, so his run is going to be $90, $100. That is very sad, because he's not even going to move up on the stock board. Look at this. He needs to get $110 to move up. So he's stuck yet again a second time. The gall, you're stinking it up, the joint. Okay, so he wants cash. If he withholds the whole $100, the stock will drop even more, and it'll drop to this $100 spot. We don't want that, because he can afford a 3 train. We know his stock will move up next round. So what he's going to do is he's going to do what's called the split or the half cap again. So he made $100. So right now, $50 is going to be taken by him. He knows he can't pay his dividend shareholders enough to move up, but as long as he pays at least $1 to them, he still doesn't move backwards. So he's going to keep $50 for himself and then just pay the other $50 out. So that's $5 a share, which is poor, but so Mr. De Gaulle at $5 a share is going to get $15. And I'm handing that to him right now. And then the company has 7 shares, so it's going to get $35. And the beauty of that is we just found a way to give him $85 out of the $100 run. So the company got infused with a lot of cash, and that's what we wanted here. And so first of all, we got to buy, so this is $100, and this is $200, and then this is 25. So we got his 3 train. And then here you can see that's $50. In fact, I'm going to take those and put a 50 back. So he's sitting on $50, which is just not enough to get the Port Authority token that we were talking about. And that part is the unfortunate part, because the buying of Port Authority tokens is at step 2. So he's not going to be able to run his trains and make revenue off of it before buying his tokens for the next round. So you would think, okay, well, maybe, yeah. So enough of that. Let's just get this money put back in the bank. So he's going to not be able to do his OE run as quickly as we hoped. And that was his whole goal, was to do the OE run early. What he needed to do was buy another share of Chin. And he just didn't have enough cash. You could see he did buy some shares, and then he bought shares of Plum. And I think what he needed to do was just focus on one company only. So in other words, he probably needed to not buy Chin and just buy a 4th share of Plum. And then it would have guaranteed that Plum had enough money to do the OE run. Chin wouldn't have, but he would at least gotten one of his companies in. And this may backfire on him huge later in the game. I don't know if it will. So the 3 trains were very slow to be purchased. In other games I've played, people buy those 3 trains really quick. And in this game, it was very slow. So that means the reason we need to rush the OE run could also be slower. And why are we rushing? You might be wondering. We're rushing because we want to do an OE run, get the 3 stock bump, and then switch to a government. That's what we're trying to do. Because once we switch to a government, then it can just make a bunch of cash. So we got all the benefits of going to OE to Constantinople and the benefits of being a government company together. That is like, if you're doing that, you're going to be the boss of this game. So it is a very dominant strategy in this game to do this. And the thing is, though, is you have to pull it off. And right now, he's at risk of the 2 trains rusting before he pulls it off. And if that happens, he will be at a huge disadvantage. Because these companies just don't perform as well as other companies unless you do that. So we will see. He made a big mistake. And in other words, I made the big mistake. And we'll see if it... But there's still a whole bunch of 3 trains left, and all of these have to be purchased. And then somebody has to purchase one of these before that ever happens. So Chin did not move up. Now we go to Lawnmower. Lawnmower gets 6 track points. He's going to upgrade Birmingham for sure. And again, I'm just trying to find the token. Got it. Okay, so this Metropolis is going to get upgraded. And it's just like Madrid. It's a pass-through. So this goes straight through. So that was 4 of his points. And then he has 2 more points. And his 2 train is going to connect from here to here. So he's happy. He actually does eventually want to connect to ours, but he's not going to help us because he knows that that will help us. So what he's going to do for now is just upgrade a whistle stop because, like I said, those do need to get upgraded. So he did it like that. And he's going to run for 60. 110, 120, 130. And that's an excellent run for him. And he's going to move up on the stock. So Wellington's on his way here. And he's actually going to be right behind GWR. So we'll have to go with double run. So at 110, that's $11 a share. So let's go pay the man. I believe he's going to get 33 bucks. Yes, no. He only has 2 shares of Lawnmower, so he's going to get $22. So here's 20, and here's 2. And I'm just going to get some 10s back. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 2 5s. So let's get all these 10s back into our bank. I'm making a mess. So putting all these 10s back in the bank, and let's grab a nice cool hundy for Mr. Wellington. He's British. He likes the big dollar amounts. He doesn't want those chintzy ones. Well, with that said, that means Lawnmower has 8 shares, so he's going to get $88 for himself, which might be just enough to buy that train. 75, 85. It might not. I can't remember, but I think when we did Wellington, we were very concerned that Wellington just didn't have enough cash to help everybody. That's unfortunate, but here we go. There's 100. Oh my gosh, he's nowhere close. 125, 135, 145, 155, 160. Oh my gosh. He doesn't have the ability to buy a 3 train. Well, he at least made sure one of them could, but that's going to hurt him a lot. So one of the things he can do is he can butcher another company. See, he made his number. What did he run for? He ran for 160 plus 50 is 110. He ran for 130. What am I thinking? Hold on. He ran for 130. So that means it was $26. I paid him 22. So we need $4 more. So we're going to do a 5, pay 1 back. And then we paid him 88. So just getting out my calculator here. 13 times 8 is 104. Minus 88 is $16 more he just made. I don't think that's going to be enough. So 100, 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75. And this is $5. So Lawnmower's in a pickle. He made 135. Actually, no, he's fine. He just moved up to 120 on the stock board. He needs to make a minimum of $120 to move up again the next turn. Right now, he's making $130. So he's making enough to move up yet one more time on the stock board. So there's 2 things. I mean, obviously we want to get the 3 trains, but the second thing is you don't want to lose your momentum. You want to keep moving up that stock board. And we got to go check to see who goes next anyways, and I'll explain that a little bit better when we get over there. But Lawnmower was unable to buy a 3 train, which is a minor setback now instead of a major setback. And I'll explain that here. So this space says $120 on it. And as long as he makes $120 of revenue, he's going to move up again. GWR or some of these other companies, if they don't buy a 3 train, they're unable to make more than $120, so they're going to be stuck here and won't be able to keep moving. So Lawnmower will be able to keep moving, and that's what I'm trying to explain. So he's going to be fine. The only thing that's going to screw him is if somehow all these are purchased before he gets to go again. And I highly doubt that's going to be the case, but it is possible. So we'll see. MSP is up next, and that is Mr. Russia, followed up by Plum. So we're going to see if DeGaulle screwed up Plum just like he screwed up Chin, and I think he did. And that's going to be 100% my fault for not showing you how to do the strategy properly. But let's go to MSP. MSP has a lot of interesting choices. The biggest one is he wants to get a Constantinople run, but he's going to upgrade St. Petersburg. And I'm just trying to find the St. Petersburg token. So he can do it this way, or he can do it this way. And since he's on the right side, he's going to do it on the side that benefits him, because then another one of his companies can take the other token, because he knows that I'm going to take this one with J. And so he's going to just limit me to just one. And then he's also not allowing me to get connected to his network, which, you know, is a smart thing to do. So that was 4 track points for him. And now here's the other thing. It's wonderful that we're hitting all these red zones along the way down. But if he wants to do an OE run, he needs to skip some of these red zones and like make it so he can go straight from there straight to here. So one of the other things they have to start doing is not only do they need to start upgrading whistle stops, but they have to start upgrading and doing bypasses. And so what you want to do is you want to do a little bit of both. So I'll show you an example. Here's a case where I can upgrade a whistle stop and implement a bypass. So by putting this here, I can now bypass Kharkov and go straight through without having to count this as a stop. And at the same time, I upgraded a whistle stop along the way. So that's what you want to try to do. And okay, why do we want to keep skipping him? Well, he's going to buy a 3 train and he'll have a 2 train. So that's basically a 5 plus 5. And there is another rule in this game I haven't explained. And that is, as long as you don't have a permanent train, which is a brown train or higher, you get to combine them together. So you can actually make it a 5 plus 5 route, or you can do a 3 plus 3 route and a separate 2 plus 2 route. It is your choice. So if we do a 5 plus 5 route, Constantinople counts as one, St. Petersburg counts as the other, and all these other stops along the way, we're gonna have to count those. And you're gonna find that we may have 6 or 7 stops along the way, and we have to reduce the stops. So that's all. It's just about being efficient. That's really it. This is a very nice paying city, so don't get me wrong, but we still want the ability to bypass it if we want to. Okay, so that was his 6 points, and he's going to run in, so here this is $50, and this is $50, so that's a $100 run. And then this is his special lumberjack company that gives him a $20 whistle stop. So that's $120. And then he gets another 10 for another whistle stop for $130. So with a 2 plus 2 train, he just ran for $130. And that is magnificent. And on top of it, he had the option to go into Sweden and get another $50 route if he wanted to. So he had a lot of options. MSP can be really powerful. So $130 was his money, and he will go up on the stock track. So let's just do that right now. He only needed to get to 110, and let's go pay the man. So 130, I guess I could have done it upside down, but I'm just gonna walk around. So that's 13 a share. He has 3 shares, so he's getting $36. So $36 for him, and then it's 13. So he's getting 91 for the company. So 50, 75, 85, 91. And let's look at his money. There's 100, there's 200, 10, 25. So he had more than enough to buy a 3 train. So MSP is well on its way and getting a 3 train. And he still has $50 and a whole bunch of change left. So let's go grab him a 3 train before we forget. And so yes, remember I was saying that the 3 trains could be purchased before people get a chance to go again. And you may be noticing that they are flying off the shelf, but there are still a lot of them left. So let's just get that on like so. And who's next? Next is Plum. So we're gonna go over to Plum, but after Plum is WW. And so I'm gonna stop real quick and do, or no, it's not WW. Oh, it's us, never mind. Let's go do Plum. Sorry for the camera shaky. Okay, Plum's situation is he's just plumb tired. All right, he wants to upgrade his own city. That is an easy job to do. So that costs 2. And then he wants to upgrade Paris for 4. So let's go get Paris. And Paris is a stinky one. Out of all the spots, Paris is definitely a real stinker. And I'm just still trying to find Paris. Paris has its own special token. Paris is still a dead end for everybody. That's what I mean by stinker, is you can't go straight through Paris. You can't. So everybody is still experiencing a dead end with Paris. All right, so that was his 6 track points. And so he is going to make some decent money though, because 50 and 40 is 90, 100, 110. So for sure he hit his number. He's going up on the stock track. He needed exactly 110 to go up. So he hit that number, and thanks to Paris, he was able to. And so let's pay him and figure out what he can do. So let's see, 110 is $11 a share. Oh, so in his situation, he can't half cap, or otherwise he would not have been able to move up. Now remember, Chin was not able to move up, so he half capped. That could be interesting. Okay, let's just pay it out and see how this plays out. So he's going to get $33 de Gaulle. 25, 30. I'm going to pay $35 to de Gaulle, and I'm dropping stuff, and then put $2 in the bank. And then that means he has 7 shares at $77. So there's 50, 60, 70, 5. We're going to pay him 80. And then take $2 back. Okay, so let's look at his situation. I think for sure he has enough money to buy a train. So here's $200, 10, 25. So there's $25 and then $200 off here. So he's got his 3 train. That part is the good part. So is he going to be able to buy the Port Authority token? And I think the answer is a resounding no. He's only got $10, $20, $30, $40. So what if he would have half capped? That means the $33 that de Gaulle got would be reduced in half. That still wouldn't have been enough. So de Gaulle's strategy to do early OE runs backfired on both companies. So like I explained, if he would have just focused on one company, he would have done it. So he was trying to do it with 2 companies at the same time, and that's what backfired, is he just didn't have enough money. If he would have been able to buy 1 more share of each of them, he would have had enough. So it's unfortunate, but I still think he's going to have time. So let's hope and see how this plays out. So now we're going to move up to KBS. That is us. So we now get to go. And KBS is going to spend... We're going to do what Lord Wellington was banking on. This wasn't it, but we're going to upgrade our city so we get more revenue. And we're going to put Berlin out, which is what Mr. Wellington was banking on. And Berlin is just like Madrid. It's a straight through city. And that's our 6 track points, 4 plus 2. But we got really great revenue. This is a $120 run with a 2 plus 2 train. So KBS is going to get $12 a share. We have 3 shares, so we're going to get $36. So just giving us the money. And then I'm going to move the camera. So you can see we got a nice stack of cash for ourselves here. And then at $12 a share times 7, we're going to get 72 shares, $72 for KBS. So I'm just starting to sort out the money because I know we're gonna have to buy a train here. I am very confident we're gonna be able to afford the train. So 50, 60, 70. Actually, I'm gonna give us 75 and put $3 back in the bank. And right there is 200. And here's 25. So that's our train right there. Okay, we are doing great. For as far as managing our own companies, we are right where we want to be. So very happy with that. And it does move up. So we are in the stack of doom here. We're at the bottom of the stack of doom, but we're keeping up with the Joneses. And we moved up. So now we move down and WW will be next to go. And WW is in a lot of trouble. WW still cannot lay track in Berlin, and he wants to. But he is a major, so he's going to get to lay 3 track points. And he needs to connect with the rest of Russia. So let's see if we can get that done. 1. Ooh, he is in trouble. So much trouble. One, and then 2 here. So he owes 30 bucks, WW. 20% discount means it's gonna be, what, $24? And so I'm gonna grab 25 bucks off of WW and give him a $1 back. Okay, that was 2. 3, because remember we can't lay track down here. 4. Oh no. We have to spend 2 track points to upgrade, and we need to connect. Oh my goodness. So you might be wondering, well, why aren't you trying to connect up here? If you look, this isn't connected yet either. Oh my gosh, he's not going to get connected. All right, WW is just hosed. So he's going to be able to get to here, which is great, but he doesn't have the 2 track points to upgrade that double whistle stop. That's the problem. So, I mean, he can at least, add another whistle stop over here and get poised to go into Berlin, but he is stuck. And then he didn't even upgrade his own city to make more money. So that's a $20, $40, $50, $60 run. He needed at least $75. If he wants to upgrade these 2 cities so he can make 30, 60, 70, he would make $80 and move up on stock, but he would have to take 1, 2, 3, 4 of these away. That's brutal. Absolutely brutal, and he has to do it because he needs to make money. If he doesn't make money, he falls behind the other players. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade that for 2 track points. That will be 3 track points. This little here was the 3rd track point. And then his Y city will get upgraded, which that's good. Okay, so it's $40, $70, $80, $90 run. So he does go up in stock value, which was important. But $90 run is pathetic. I mean, look at some of these other people and what they're making. He owns 2 shares of WW, so that's at $9 a share. He's getting 18 bucks. So we're going to give him $20. Put 2 back, and then at $9 a share times 8, that's 72 for him, So 50, 72. And we're going to take those ones and set it over here. And then 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. He is nowhere close to buying a 3-train. That's where, so WW is a very poorly run company. What Mr. Russia needed to do is, if you buy WW, you need to have a company in Germany. He needed to start a miner here, and that miner could have built track that goes from Berlin and connects over, and that miner could be even here in Königsberg, all the way up here. But the point is see, that's a Y city and this is a Y city, and those two would have made wonderful music together. And that's the mistake that Russia made. He should have put his miner there, and instead he put his miner up there in Sweden and Norway, and it has helped him. But if you'll notice, MSP hasn't needed to go to Sweden and Norway. He's doing just fine. So Russia made a mistake, meaning that I made a mistake. But so yeah, that Russia strategy is not paying off, at least for one of his companies. So that company is not doing well. Lizard is next. That is Mr. Russia again. So let's go around to his spot and do things from there. Okay, I know the glare can be bad, so I'm going to turn it this way. And you can see he's on a regular city, which is not good income. He just needs to put a curve here for one track point. So he's going to do that, and now he's finally connected to the network with everybody else. So he's going to pay $20. It doesn't matter if he can buy a 3-train or not. He needs to pay the $20 and get a token out. And he's going to put his token in Moscow. He could put it in St. Petersburg as well. And in fact, there's no harm in that. So let's do that. He's going to put his in St. Petersburg instead, which I know is off camera, but it's just right there. So in doing so, he's now in the main network, and he's going to make the same amount of money that MSP and the other big companies have been making. So he no longer has to do a route through this crappy city. He's going to do all of his routes through St. Petersburg now, which is great. So he has 5 more track points. And so what he's going to do is he's going to help his WW company, because he learned his lesson, right? I mean, WW isn't doing well. So I'm reaching over for a track. So way down here, you can see we have this situation. So we're going to put this in. That's 2 points. And then we're going to even help him even more and put 3, 4, and I'm just realizing I spent $30 here. So rather than trying to refund the money and all that stuff, I'm just going to lay the track on this side instead of that side. I know that's cheating, but trust me, it's fine. So WW spent $30 to go through this water, and technically speaking, since I'm on Lizard's turn, I can only lay this track here, but I'm going to lay this one instead and just leave that one as a gap. So when it's WW's turn, he can just lay this, and we don't have to refund the $30 and do all that nonsense. So Lizard basically helped out WW, which he probably should have been doing, or they should have been helping WW more along the way. So after all of that, Lizard has a 2-train, and we're going to run St. Petersburg for 50, Moscow for 50, and then this special whistle stop for 20. So that's 120, 130 bucks. So $13 a share. And Lizard he does own 3 shares of Lizard. So that is $39 for a Lizard. So 35, and then 4 ones. Okay, and then at 13 a share times 7, $91 for the company, 50, 75, 85, 90, and 1. So is that enough? It definitely is going to help. So 50, 100, 150, 175, 185, 195. He has exactly $200, which can buy a 3-train that does not count whistle stops. Russia has a bazillion whistle stops, so we're not going to do it. He still made $130, so even though he wasn't able to buy a 3-train, that $130 is more than enough to move up on the stock track. He is a lower valued company, so it's not like he's losing value here. He only needed to make $80, in fact. So now RCP is up, and RCP is a de Gaulle company, and RCP will upgrade this for sure. Like we said, we're going to help K do the bypass. So just preserving our connections and then making a new one so we have a bypass. We no longer have to go through that city. So that's 2 points. And then we still want to get to Madrid. So this is 3 and 4. And I can put one more for 5, but I want to spend 6 points, right? Because I have 6 points. So instead of doing the one more for 5, I'm going to just sorry, I'm trying to grab a tile and think at the same time. I'm just going to start upgrading my whistle stops. So this will be 2 points. Got to do it eventually. And he has a 2+2 train, so this is a $40 stop, that's a $40 stop, but we have a $20 whistle stop, so that's 80, 100, 110. So that's excellent money for RCP, and de Gaulle is actually running that one really well. So at $110 a share, it is $22 for de Gaulle. So giving him $22. And RCP owns 8 shares, so that's $88. So here's 50. And I'm gonna grab a 25 for 75. And we said 88. So 85. And then 3 ones for $88. And I don't think he has 100 and change. He doesn't have enough for a 3-train. So RCP is, as far as stock-wise going, he's doing fine, but he does need more money to get a 3-train. Bell is also a de Gaulle company, and I know Bell's going to hit his numbers as well, so I'm moving him up. But he's going to be in the same boat. I don't think he's going to be able to afford a 3-train, but Paris is upgraded for him, which is a huge bonus. And then he's going to upgrade his current spot. He still can't go to Rotterdam because we can't leave our territory until a merger happens. And a merger can't happen until a 3-train has been bought. And that has happened now. We now have 3 trains, but mergers don't happen until the stock round, and we are in the operating round. So it won't be until the next set of operating rounds that we can actually leave our current country to lay track. So that was 2 points, and then we're going to just do like we always do. This is 4. And just trying to find a tile that works. $6. Okay, so we have a $50 and a $40. That's 90 plus 2 is 110, so $11 a share again. And it's the same exact situation. $22 for de Gaulle and $88 for the company. And I'm just going to grab this real quick off camera. And I can tell you that it is He's nowhere close. He's not. He's barely at $100 in cash. That he was near $0. So he was not able to buy a 3-train. Now, remember the early OE guys, Plum and Chin, he's concerned because if somebody buys all the 3-trains out, his early OE strategy is not going to work. Well, the fact that his other 2 companies didn't buy a 3-train, he's actually helping himself in a way, in a very weird way. He's helping the 2 companies that he wants to get an OE run, but he's not helping the 2 companies that need the 3-train. So, but the good news is they easily hit their number, and they'll easily hit their number next round as well. So they're in great shape as far as moving up the stock track. All right, I'm at an hour 5. I have 2 more companies to go. Let's hurry up and get those done so we can close this video up. So this is a situation where I have SB at 75 and I have MAV at 75. Which one goes first? It's always the rightmost, so MAV is going to go first. And I can tell you just by looking at the board, he will hit his number. And I can also tell you we're going to hit ours. So I'm going to just move them both up now to save some camera time. And let's take care of MAV and then SB. MAV is run by Medici. So let's do MAV first. So MAV is in a situation where somebody, Mr. Wellington, took the Vienna spot. But Vienna is still a valuable spot for him. So he doesn't mind spending the 4 points upgrading Vienna. And Vienna, just like we've been saying, this is a pass-through city. So even though SB is here and F is there, they can only go straight through. F and MAV can only go to here, whereas SB is now going into a mountain. And the other thing is that MAV still can't put a token here because he has to be connected from this direction. But he can do that. So that was 4 points. And then here you go for 5, like this. And then 6 connects him this way. So with 6 track points, he was able to connect to Vienna another way. And he can pay the $20 to put a token there if he wants. And I think it's greatly going to be determined by whether or not he can afford a 3-train. So we're going to go figure that out before we put a token there. If he has $20 left over, then he'll do it. Otherwise, he may not do it. His run is 90, 100, 110. So it's going to be $11 a share. So making sure I don't step on my dog. Coming around. $11 a share for Mr. Mav. We have 3 shares of Mav, or Medici does. So that's $33. And I'm going to take $35, put $2 back. And then, so that means he has 7, so he's going to get $77. So let's go grab a 50, 75, and those same 2 ones. So there's some $1. We'll put the 50s over there. So he's at 100, 75, 85, 95, 205, 210. Oh my gosh. Okay, he needs another $10. So he's going to half cap. So we said that he made $110, right? $11 a share. So if he half caps, then $55 goes to the company. So it's easier if I just take back the money. So this was $77. We're just going to put it here. And then we had, it was $33. So I'm going to just take $35 and give the $2 back to Medici. Okay, so when you half cap, it's 55 bucks. So he gets 50 and 5. And then the $55 is paid out to the shareholders. So that means that 5.5 a share. At 3 shares, you're looking at 10, 11, 16.5, and you round up to 17. So $17 goes to Medici. All right, and so 55 minus 17, we'll just do that real quick. 38 goes to the company. And so the company should overall have more money doing it this way. And I think you're going to see that instead of having $210, they're going to have a lot more now. So I'm just going to take care of this money. All right, so here's 100, 75, 85, 95, 205, 215, 220, 1, 2, 3. I did do the math right. 100, 75, 85, 95, 205, 215, 220. He's $5 short from buying a 3-train. Okay, so with that said, it's more important to go up on the stock track then, because he wouldn't go up on the stock track if he withheld. So I'm going to fix the math again, which is not helping with my video time, and I apologize. So I took the 55 away, so we just have to pay it out again. So I'm going to give $20 to Medici and take $3 back. And this was $38, so I'm going to give him $35, $40, and take $2 back. And we should be at 210. So 50, 100, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 210. And take this back. So we should be okay now. I took, I think, too much away from the company. So he's short. He's not able to buy the 3-train, but his stock was able to move up, which was the important one. So now let's go do SB, which is our company, and then close off this video. I may have made a math mistake there. Please don't beat me up in the comments. I'm trying to hurry up and close the video, and I'm not worried over $5. Okay, so we want to do an OE run. We're now connected to Berlin with SB, but because of this situation, we're going into the mountains instead of, where we need to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to upgrade some track. And I'm going to upgrade this track for 2. And then I'm going to upgrade this track for 4. And now you can see we can get connected to Vienna a different way, or we can go from Berlin all the way to Constantinople and actually bypass Vienna if we need to. We may need to, we may not need to, who knows. I would love to put a token in Berlin, but I am not allowed to do anything outside of my country. I can't lay track, I can't place tokens outside of the country. So that's 4 track points right there. And then I'm going to upgrade the double whistle stop just because there's only so many of them. And we will upgrade this one before it's too late. That's 6. I have the ability to plow through mountains with my company. And what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to go to here and then start plowing after that double whistle stop. And I think that's the best place to start plowing. And I can come through here and hit this whistle stop and then hit Constantinople. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm setting myself up to do that. And in the meantime, it is 50 plus 40 plus 20 more. So 90, 100, 110. So $11 a share for us, and we're going to get 33. So our cash pile is getting a little bigger, and then SB is going to get 77. 50, 70, 5, 6, 7. And by the way, if we half capped with SB, we would not have enough money to move up on the stock track. And I value moving up on the stock track. So And considering the fact that so many companies failed to buy a 3-train, I'm going to be comfortable with moving up on the stock track and not necessarily buying a 3-train. But let's see how we turn out here. We're at 175, 85, 95. I have enough for a 3-train without whistle stops. I'm thinking I may want to do it. And that's $215. I'm $10 short from buying a 3-train. So it's extremely unfortunate. So I'm going to do it. I'm actually going to buy a 3-train and flip it over so I can't do whistle stops for $200. And then, you know, I just basically have some change. And couple of things. Number one, I don't want to lose out on buying a 3-train. And then number two, even without whistle stops, I mean, those whistle stops are $30 in revenue, and that's great. But this is 3 cities worth of revenue that I'm going to make next turn. And if I don't buy this turn, I make $0 next turn. So this is an opportunity cost. Yes, it would be nice to get the extra $30, but I would have to go another whole turn where I don't get to collect from 3 cities just to get that $30 bonus. And I don't know if it's worth the cost, right? I'd rather get the 3 extra cities next turn and just not get the $30 from the whistle stops. So that's what we're going to do. And it'll actually be really nice because if you look from here, I can go from here to Berlin for 3 cities, and there's only 1 whistle stop along the way anyways. And then for the 2+2 train, I can go from here. Oh, I have to be careful. I have to be very careful because I can't reuse this track. But if I put a token down here, I can go from here to there for 2 and then add 2 more. In fact, that's a wonderful run. And I'm going to do the token thing right now because I don't want Mr. Wellington to block me. Because that is a possibility. I don't have enough for the token. I have $18. I need 20. Oh, you punk. So we will just have to see what Mr. Wellington does to us. He may not block us because Mr. Wellington is already up here in Vienna. Okay, I'm at 1 hour 17 and my dog is getting ready to bark. So I will go ahead and stop here and see you in a few minutes.